For a long time, people thought that acupuncture was simply some esoteric Oriental voodoo. American scientists didn't believe in it, but after over 30 years of clinical studies, it was found that it has merit. In fact, so much merit that it became a fully accredited practice where you could become licensed in the state by taking all of your courses and putting in your hours. But the average American doesn't go to an acupuncturist. My goodness, it took them decades to go to a chiropractor. But they should. Acupuncture has an enormous amount of benefit. This is from the University of California at Irvine. Quote, patients with hypertension, that's high blood pressure, treated with acupuncture experienced drops in their blood pressure that lasted up to a month and a half. Wow. Their work is the first to scientifically confirm that this ancient Chinese practice is beneficial in treating mild to moderate hypertension and indicates that regular use could help people control their blood pressure and lessen the risk of stroke and heart disease. Quote from the study. This clinical study is the culmination of more than a decade of bench research in this area, said Dr. John Longhurst, University of California cardiologist and former director of the Semmelweis Center. By using Western scientific rigor to validate an ancient Eastern therapy, we feel we have integrated Chinese and Western medicine and provided a beneficial guideline for treating a disease that affects millions of Americans in the U.S., end quote. So there you have it. How big of a improvement was it? 41%. Wow. And then it also helped their blood glucose level by 67%. So remember, it helps with pain, it helps with energy, it helps with adrenal fatigue, and now can help lower your blood pressure. There were a bunch of us, including my brothers, went on a trip. We went on a trip throughout Italy. The purpose of the trip was simple. I wanted to see if I could determine a difference by interviewing public health officials in the cities like Milan, which is the financial and garment capital of Italy, versus in the country versus the suburbs, much like in the United States. What's the difference living in New York City versus the suburbs versus the country? And there's sometimes substantial differences. So we spent quite some time there. And, of course, there are no bad restaurants that I found in Italy. Same in France. What they considered a mediocre Italian restaurant, we would consider outstanding food and service. But in all cases, I would not eat the salads. And they were laughing. Of course, they were always laughing. Part of growing up in a family of boys is, the form of humiliation you have to take. Now, Gary's a rabbit. Gary, do you want to go outside, see if there's something outside you could eat in the grass? And you have no idea what it's like growing up in the middle of the boys. The youngest, of course, is closest to God, can never ask the little one to do anything, and the older one is, the saint. It's in the middle where you get hammered. In any case, that's fine because it was all good. But when it came to that salad, I wasn't about to eat it. They said, why not? I said, because you're not in the kitchen. You're not watching to see if they're busy. They're not going to wash that. They're going to dip it in some water, maybe spray it for a second. That doesn't clean it, even if it's organic. So what I would do, and I normally do this, I would go to the farmer's market, and I would buy a wonderful variety of vegetables and salad greens, and I would take it back to my room. And I would wash it myself. And how is the proper way to wash all forms of lettuce? All forms. First, you put on a cleansing material, generally some kind of veggie wash. If you don't have that, apple cider vinegar will do, even hydrogen peroxide diluted, 10-to-1 in water. And then you massage the leaf. Now, why would you massage a lettuce leaf? Because the lettuce leaf has folds, crevices, little nooks and crannies. It's not flat. It's not like washing an apple. So you massage in there, and that loosens the debris that you wouldn't see. And a speck of dirt so small you couldn't see it is enough to make a 400-pound man have massive diarrhea, amoebic dysentery, and be for a week in bed. So by massaging it and then rinsing it, that's the first step. Then you put it into a bowl, and you put water in the bowl, and you agitate it. You just kind of shake your hand back and forth, and that gets any final debris out, and you do that 3 times. Now it's clean. Okay, then I put it in a bag, and then I'd go in the restaurant, and I would say, how much is your most expensive salad? Oh, it's $5, $9. I'd say, okay. Would you mind, because I have some special health needs, if I paid you for a salad, but I use my own, and use your salad dressing? And they always, especially the Italians, are so accommodating in their restaurants, and they would always do that. So I'd have this huge salad and whatever else that I found that was particularly good, like some roasted rosemary potatoes with the way that's done with where they baste it in garlic. No one in America, as I have ever seen, baste a roasted potato in a garlic, and they do there. In fact, what they frequently do, I've never seen this before, but I've tried it since. They take a huge elephant garlic, and they roast it. Then they do an imprint with their fingers. They push it in, and then they put your potato inside that. Now, you talk about having a potato that is outrageously delicious. Try this. Elephant garlic, you peel it, you roast it. Now it's soft. Then you put it in a bowl, and you take your fingers or a spoon, and you make an indentation, much like hollowing out, let's say, an orange. Cut the top of the orange off. I just did this yesterday for everyone. I want to make them all fun dessert. And so I took some oranges. You wash the orange. Always wash everything. You wash the orange. Then you cut the top 1/3 off. And then you scoop out the orange. And you put it into a blender. Then you put into that blender some, in this case, it was macadamian raw sprouted nut butter. Don't get any better than that. That's the Rolls Royce. And then put in some anise powder, but not seed. And then I put in there a little bit of stevia, vanilla stevia, and also some fresh mint. And you stir that around, and then you stuff that back into the orange. And then if you want to do something really special, you simply take some raspberries and blackberries, you blend them together with a little bit of coconut milk, and then you drizzle that over the top. It took maybe 10 minutes, but it's a delicious dessert and easy to make, inexpensive, and absolutely a nutrition powerhouse and tastes divine. Anyhow, you do the same thing with the garlic. You make an impression, then you take your roasted potatoes, and never take a potato roasted till it's brown. Then you've created acrylamines, and that's a cancer-causing agent. Instead, till it's just soft enough to stick a fork in. That means you have to bring your temperature way down. It takes longer to cook, but it's a lot healthier, and it's a lot more tasty because the natural sugars in the potato begin to mature. When you cook something too fast, you don't have a natural ripening process. That's why an Italian, authentic, in Italy, made sauce, it takes a long time to make because they put it on a very low temperature, and then they add their seasonings gradually so it all breaks down and blends, and it's sweet and unique in its taste, where we just throw something on it and put a high flame under it, and it becomes a bitter. Well, there the garlic is soft, and the potato is not brown, but it's ready. And then you put your extra virgin organic olive oil on it, some Himalayan sea salt, some black pepper, and it's just a wonderful dish. In any case, And, of course, then I'm having the healthy salad while they're all looking at me and figuring out how many more jokes can we make about Gary and his eccentric or idiosyncratic behavior during this meal. And, of course, what was really fun was the next morning when 3 of my friends and family members were in bed with massive diarrhea. Not a good place to be in bed when you have amoebic dysentery. And because, well, the salad wasn't clean. So I never, under any circumstances, eat anything that I haven't cleaned because I know how I clean stuff. I don't know how other people do. This is the University of California, Riverside. Quote, researchers believe peaks and valleys in baby spinach leaves could be a key reason why there have been numerous bacterial outbreaks involving green leafy vegetables. Ever wonder what that words triple washed or pre-washed on a bag of baby spinach means? Not much, according to engineers, University of California, Riverside. They discovered that small peaks and valleys, that's what I was talking about, crevices, in baby spinach, but it's true of all lettuces, could be a key reason why there have been numerous bacterial outbreaks. Current disinfection is put into the rinse water and not specifically applied to the leaf surface. The researchers in the Bourne College of Engineering found that because of the varied topography of the spinach leaf, nearly 15% of the leaf surface may reach concentrations as low as 1,000 times that of the bleach disinfectant being used to rinse it. As a result, as the leaves move through the processing facility, after being rinsed, the bacteria may continue to live, grow, spread, and contaminate other leaves and surfaces within the facility. Following rinsing under the low bleach condition, upwards of 90% of the adherent bacteria were observed to remain attached to and survive the leaf surface. Let me repeat that. This is after they bleached it. And who knew that they were bleaching our lettuces, right? 90% of the bacteria were still surviving. So, that's why, and this was presented at the American Chemical Society National Meeting, and an entitled talk, Is Our Salad Safe? The answer is no. So no matter what salad you get, where you get it, no matter what it says, don't believe it. Wash it yourself. It's that simple. And you're not going to get a clean lettuce in any restaurant that I know of in the world. Now, finally, oregano. Oregano is what a lot of people understand, mainly because they've eaten it on pizzas. But in point of fact, it is my opinion that oregano, the Oregonium vulgaria, it's a member of the mint family, and it is one of the most important culinary herbs you could possibly get, and you can grow it yourself. It's very easy. Why should we use it? First, because it's an extraordinarily powerful natural antioxidant. It inhibits lipid peroxidation, the breaking down of fats into free radicals. It is stronger than paprika, cumin, saffron. It really works. Only rosemary is equal to it as an antioxidant. And it is great because it can inhibit food-borne fungi. And it's been shown to kill aspergillus. That's a disease-causing food mold, and it's very important. And they use it a lot in Italy in their processing, especially in the jars where they're allowing to age olives or eggplant or peppers, because it's a natural antibacterial side. It can kill off Staphylococcus aureus and Pseudomonas. The oil is phenomenal, and the leaves are good as well. So it's anti-ulcer. It has anti-cancer properties. If you have gastric ulcers, understand it has very strong potential. And if you have a glioblastoma, which is a brain cancer, oregano was shown to cause suicide death in the cancer cells. So, and it can also kill colon cancer cells. So the takeaway message is our herb of the day to use in more of our dishes and to have a bottle of the oil, a 2-ounce, 3-ounce jar. It's inexpensive, $10, whatever. Always have it with you because it can make a difference. Now, had I had wild oregano oil on that trip to Italy, I could have immediately put that and some colloidal silver into a glass, 20 drops colloidal silver, 20 drops wild oregano oil, also 20 drops of olive leaf extract, and 1 teaspoon of bee propolis. Stir that around with manuka honey, and then follow that with 4 ounces of aloe vera, and those people would have been up out of there in like one day instead of a week. Oh, and that's exactly what happened. Oh, and did I tell you about how they were playing all kinds of jokes on me? Oh, what's that, Gary? You're putting on the dresser. Is that one of your magics? Yeah, it was. It was magical to them that they were up and enjoying the country instead of being on the toilet for the rest of the week with a raw rear end. Just remember, those are the things you should take with you and use on a daily basis. I'm Gary Null, back in a moment. Please stay with us.